Vinny posted a picture of him kissing another woman. So I changed his social media password.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Not you. You can choke.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Cheese My Corner. Let's talk about the last resort. I already see many of the couples coming here not working out, and what makes it worse is that we already know that a lot of these couples are not even together till this day. It makes me a little frustrated that the NDAs continue to be broken and that, you know, we get a bunch of spoilers over and over again. But let's talk about the couples. First off, let's give a little rundown of what each couple's problems are and their reason for being here in the last resort. As always, before we keep going, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's talk about this episode. The first couple we get is Gino and Jasmine, and Jasmine has finally come to terms with the idea that she actually did meet Gino in a sugar daddy, sugar baby website. Remember how she always denied it, but not today.
Because we met in a sugar baby, sugar daddy site.
She said they met in a romantic but unconventional way, which is like, was that really romantic? Because to me, meeting someone in a sugar daddy website does not seem to be romantic. What seems to also happen is that Gino is not longer fulfilling his end of the promise, which is to provide for her financially. Jasmine also shares with Gino that she wants them to appear as a united front, and she also wants him to act the way that he acts with her at home, because he tends to do this thing where he'll treat her nice in front of everyone, but then once they're behind closed doors, he starts acting horribly towards her. And I could understand how that makes Jasmine feel, because she's gonna start feeling like she's crazy. The fact that Gino doesn't have the same responses that Jasmine does at times, I could understand why it makes Jasmine feel like she's a little crazy, because it's like you're so upset about something and the other person is just like, I don't really care about this.
I haven't shared the same bed with my husband for 8 months.
And something else that is also happening is the fact that even though Jasmine is telling Gino that they need to be a united front, at the same time, she's nitpicking on everything that he's doing. And it's like, girl, are you here together or not? Because there's even this moment where they're checking out their hotel room.
You could sleep here outside.
They're snakes, rattlesnakes.
But they're venomous. Yeah, you should sleep outside.
It just doesn't seem like she wants to work on this. Now let's move over to the next couple.
My name is Natalie. I'm from Kyiv, Ukraine. Next to me is Josh, and he's 43.
One of the main reasons I believe they're here is because Natalie brings in the drama. She is missing a couple screws, so we already know that the producers want her here because she's going to stir up the pot. Their main goal during this resort is to finally make a decision as to whether they can be together or not. This is already a situation where Josh has not defined the relationship for 3 years, and Natalie continues to linger here thinking that something is gonna come from this, when it is clear that all this man sees in you is someone that he can sleep with.
We have a really good physical relationship. That's never been our problem.
But other than that, they're not good for one another. There is one thing that kind of interests me, and that is the fact that Josh and Rob became friends after all of this. And I just want to know how it happened, because there's something that's going to happen later on that I'm like, how can you be friends with someone that did that? But whatever. You can already tell that this relationship is awkward. When they're at the front desk, the lady asks Josh if this is the first time here, and he's like, oh no, I've been here multiple times. And Natalie right away is like, with who? Who did you come here with? And Josh tells her that he's been here by himself. She doesn't believe it. I don't believe it. None of us believe it. Josh also shares that one of the main reasons why he has connected with Natalie lately is because when his son had the motorcycle accident and he was severely injured to the point that he lost his leg, he lost a friend, Natalie was there for him. She was there through everything. So after that, Josh was like, oh, you know what? I'm here for you too. Just because that person is providing some type of support for you during a hard time does not mean that you need to pretend to be in a relationship with them. If you really respected her that much, then you would tell her that you don't want to be in a relationship with her. And then there's this other awkward moment when they're outside and Josh is looking at a mountain and he's telling her like, this is south, this is east, this is west. And Natalie is like, oh my God, I love geography.
Which direction would be your house?
This guy lives in Arizona. In the 3.5 years that they have been on and off, Natalie has not seen his home because Josh does not trust her. And I get it. He lives with his daughter. He doesn't want someone like Natalie around his family. I wouldn't want someone like Natalie around my home. But you should also tell her that, because even though you have shown her with actions and little things here and there that you don't want to make her your wife, you have not told her to her face that this is not what you want.
His house is like a house of Dracula. That's like so mysterious.
The next couple we get is Rob and Sophie. And as we already know, they are also not together. There's this moment where Rob is giving Sophie's butt a massage. And they're talking about their good times in Mexico and how it was so great and how much fun they had. And since after they got married, their marriage has gone to crap. But it's like, no, you guys already had problems way before you guys got married when we got to see you in Before the 90 Days. As you guys remember, the last time that we saw Rob and Sophie was at the tell-all where both of them decided that they wanted to work on their marriage. But Rob is worried that every single time they talk about moving forward, Sophie talks about the past.
All we ever talk about is yesterday. Sophie,
I'm not going to bring it up every 5 minutes, but we're not going to act like it doesn't exist.
The thing is that you already spent so much time talking about the cheating over and over again that you said you moved on from, that you said you forgave him for.
He's gonna hold me accountable for my lies from over 2 years ago. Then she needs to reveal all of her secrets.
But whatever, these two are not even together anymore. One of the things that upsets me the most about Rob's and Sophie's relationship is the fact that Sophie decided and chose to forgive Rob for the cheating. And the cheating happened before she left the house, before she moved in with her bestie, and every single time that something happens, so they have a conversation, all Sophie does is point the finger. You did this, you hurt me, you did that, and it never ends there. While I do think that both of them did a lot of wrong in the relationship, I think that Sophie needs to start taking some accountability for her actions. This was a two-man job. So yeah, that's where we left off with those two. Now let's move over to the next couple.
Maybe we get somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see.
And the next couple we get is Julia and Brandon. And at first, when I saw them, I was like, wait, what? You two? Here? In the last resort? But then you start thinking about it, how they met initially. And you remember that Brandon was the more reserved guy from the South, didn't want to party, didn't want to do all these things. And Julia is this Russian girl that loves to party, that is so outgoing. Like, one of her jobs was a go-go dancer. So when you put these two together and you put her inside a farm living with your parents, let's remind everyone that Brandon has a codependency problem with his parents, especially his mother. I can start seeing a lot of issues coming up.
I always like to party, but yeah, I'm just trying to make a party between you and I happen.
Later on, Brandon tells us that one of the main issues is the fact that he wants to have kids and Julia doesn't. Now, initially, they had agreed that both of them wanted kids, and now Julia has changed her mind. I think that Brandon should not pressure Julia to have kids. At the end of the day, if that does happen, Julia might end up resenting Brandon because of that decision. But at the same time, if this is a decision that you guys had already made in the past, then I do think it's incredibly selfish that out of nowhere, you change your mind on something you guys had already agreed on. Now, the next couple that we get is Florian and Stacy. Now, I don't know much about these two. I've never seen their seasons. To be honest with you guys, I am not interested in watching Stacy and Darcy. I've never been, and I never will. So what I'm getting from these two is that Florian is someone that does not believe therapy is real. He does not believe that there's any problems with him, because how could he not be perfect? And Stacy, so far, is someone that can never get enough. She has body dysmorphia issues. She's always going to want more. There's this awkward moment where they're taking them to the hotel room and Florian asks where he's able to smoke. And right away, Stacy's like,
well, I mean, we came here to get healthy. Maybe not smoke.
Girl, don't talk about healthy when your body is plastic. And don't talk about healthy or you're going to go drinking in a couple minutes. Stacy also shares with us that about a year ago, she got really sick.
The doctor said you need to get to the emergency room ASAP or you're going to lose your kidney.
Florian, instead of being there for her, especially during the recovery, this guy was going out and partying. He was being more secretive. He wasn't there for her. In situations like that is when you get to show your partner how much you care about them. And if Florian's not doing that, then that is showing you that he does not care as much as you do.
I know that I cannot live the rest of my life with a man that's not gonna be there for me.
It also turns out that a couple years ago, Florian cheated on Stacy. And she has had a really hard time getting over that, especially because lately this boy right here has been going out more, staying up drinking, flirting with other girls in front of Stacy. And he doesn't think it's a big deal. He's just like, he does not care. The age of this man should actually be 15 because he does not know how to speak. He cannot even talk. He can't say anything. Like, there's this moment where he tells Stacy,
talk first, use open. This like comes around, goes around, you know?
What is going to come around? She's talking to you about you cheating on her and you flirting with other girls. Are you saying it's gonna come around to you, that you're going to get cheated on? And now let's move over to the next couple, Ari and Biniam. Last time we saw them was when he made it to America. He had come with a lot of dreams of becoming an MMA fighter. We had already know that he was in a previous relationship where he was denied the right of seeing his child, and I don't think he's ever seen him since then. Biniam is someone that had to hold a lot of jobs when he was in Utopia, and when he came over here, he was a very driven person. And Ari is a spoiled rich girl that has had very supportive parents that have allowed her to live the life that she has right now. It looks right now like Ari is someone that is incredibly confrontational, and Biniam is someone that wants to avoid every single confrontation no matter what. But both of them are extremely problematic, and I think what upsets me the most is knowing that there's a child involved.
We have the most wonderful son. His name is Aviel. We call him Avi.
Because these people are using this child as a pawn. Ari has already shown in the past that she can be extremely jealous. So anytime that she sees Biniam doing anything, you know, she overreacts. And we saw her do it multiple times during the show. Later on, as she's walking around the resort, we can already see her pulling out the couch bed because she does not want Biniam staying in the same room with her, and especially not in the same bed.
4 months ago, Benny and I hit rock bottom. I took Avi and I moved us to Ethiopia.
Now, I want you guys to remember that Benny does not have the same resources and the same safety net that Ari has. He cannot just fly over to Utopia to go see his child. So the fact that this woman decides that it's a great idea to deprive the child of seeing his parent is wild to me. It's so disrespectful. Ari shares that during those 4 months that she was in Utopia,
things really fell apart and he stopped calling me.
Biniam became more distant with her. He stopped calling her. He stopped reaching out to her. And that's when she started worrying more. And not only that, but a couple months later, Biniam actually cheated on her. Remember, guys, that photo that broke where Biniam was kissing this other girl? Ari says that they were actually together during that time and they never separated, like they weren't taking a break. And as we know, they are still married right now.
Found Vinny exchanging phone numbers with this woman and talking to even some other women online.
I want to see if that is actually what happened and if they were actually together. Because we've seen how Ari can be extremely possessive. She can be incredibly jealous. And we also know that she still has a relationship with her ex. And don't get me wrong, if he cheated, he's an asshole for doing that. He should have never done that. He should have told her. especially because this is the mother of your child. It is extremely disrespectful. But at the same time, one thing that upsets me is the fact that Ari did this to hurt his feelings. This man has already experienced what it's like to be deprived the right to see your child. By the way, I fixed up my mic a little bit because someone mentioned that my audio was not good enough. And so if anyone wants to give me some pointers, if my audio sounds good for this video, please let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Now, let's get to the drama of this episode. As we already know, the producers love to give people alcohol before therapy. What better way to start therapy, right, than to get people intoxicated? When Julia and Brandon arrive, Stacy and Florian are already waiting there at the pool. Florian, once he hears Julia, he already starts saying that like she's too annoying.
It's her voice. It's like somebody annoying. Very annoying.
Have you heard your voice? Julia also shares with Florian that she does not like Natalie, and we already know why they don't like each other, which is that one time that they had an argument at the tell-off.
You use mine for green card.
Yep.
Okay.
And as soon as Natalie gets there, freaking Florian is like, hey Natalie, Julia misses you. It's so messy. Of course, this man is already stirring the pot, and this is when Julia says, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Let's settle this. So they step aside, and during this conversation, Natalie asked Julia, the way that I would have slapped this woman. And of course, Julia takes this time to apologize to Natalie.
I came here for therapist and I don't want to be any drama around me.
I think she did it because she just wanted to be nice and she wanted to clear the air. But of course, Natalie also tries to like kind of apologize, but
bad peace is better than good war.
I can already tell that Natalie thinks that she's like better than anyone else. There's no one compared to her. Jasmine and Gino arrive, and Julia right off the bat tells us that she loves Jasmine. She talks to her online, she keeps up with her, and she's just like, oh my god, she's a porn star, but in a good way because of her body.
What do you think of Jasmine's body?
Expensive.
Which is the right answer, Brandon. Good job. Jasmine shares the sentiment that Julia shares for her. She talks about how she has such a bubbly personality. She's always making jokes. And Brandon
has a personality of a heart.
You don't want to be around him. And I was like, oh my god, Jasmine, come on. Ari and Jasmine have their own moment where both of them are speaking Spanish. Jasmine and Natalie have this moment where Natalie is asking her tips on how to get an ass like her.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you give me some accessories?
Yeah, of course.
Did we not see you get an ass on TV? Did you forget that that was recorded and that you also took your ex's money for that? Once Sophie and Rob arrive, Natalie is like, she just saw the devil because she starts talking smack about Sophie. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of Sophie, but to go as far as to say
Wants to be sexy, but is she sexy? I think you know better.
It's like she already has something against her for a reason, which we're going to find out in a bit. But she turns around to Josh.
Is she sexy or no?
It is not for me to discuss.
Of course, you're not going to answer that question right now because she will kill you. During this entire time, Ari is on the side by herself because Vinium has still not arrived. We don't know where he is. We don't know if he's gonna be there. She doesn't even know if he's going to be there. And he finally arrives.
What's up?
No one really pays attention to him, but then he walks over and he goes, Vegas boy is here, and still crickets because no one really cares. Everyone has been there already and you just showed up. So he's going around saying hi to everyone, and the moment that he approaches Ari, he extends his hand. Instead of hugging her, instead of, you know, embracing her, he's just like, hi.
I was surprised.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
She starts confronting him. Like, are you not gonna say hi to me? Are you not gonna hug me? I'm your wife. Why are you not gonna hug me? This is a way to do it. And she forces him into a hug.
What is this? What is this?
I don't know.
Here, should I teach you how to do this? Here,
Teach what?
Okay. You can tell that Vinium is extremely uncomfortable and he doesn't want to be doing this. I think it was so horrible of Ari to force him into a hug. when you can tell that Biniam was not ready for one. He does not feel safe with this person. There's this other moment where she tells him, yes, go say hi to everyone else, but then you're gonna come back and sit down next to me because we have to present as a couple. You cannot force someone to be in a relationship with you. You cannot force them to be physical with you. It's not going to work. So Biniam steps away. He starts saying hi to everyone. And during this time, he's giving the other cast members hugs while not giving her a hug. I think this is a time for her to understand that he's not willing to do that for her. And she should be asking herself, why this is happening? And is this what I want for my life? Do I want to sit here and watch my partner not want to hug me, not want to embrace me? And now is when we get to find out why Natalie despises Sophie.
Her man has been like messaging me on Instagram.
You know, we always have those times where cast members message each other, and that's normal. You know, sometimes you just want to communicate with people that share the same experience that you do. But eventually, Josh started sending hearts, the little flame emojis. Anytime that she would post a photo where she was showing body or she looked sexy and hot, he would reply to those messages. He invited her to Vegas.
And I think Josh is low-key a player who's just playing the field. And
Rob knew about the situation. So I do wonder, how is it that after finding this out, Rob decides to proceed with the friendship with Josh? You tell me that someone is flirting with my partner constantly, inviting them to Vegas, sending them emojis. I would not want to have a relationship with this person. I wouldn't even want to be their friend or acquaintance at all. So it does make me wonder what made Rob put that aside. Biniam and Ari step away. They're having a conversation and the entire group is on the other side. They're talking about how bad they feel for Ari because Ari is over here so sad. Biniam is over there being so happy, coming in like, hey, I'm here. I'm the man of the year. Ari confronts Biniam about the cheating. And Biniam denies it. He's like, no, I did not cheat on you. And then Biniam is like, hey, why don't you just give me my password? It turns out that Ari was his social media manager. So she was taking care of everything, you know, his Instagram, Facebook.
Vinny posted a picture of him kissing another woman.
And that's when she decided that she was gonna change all of his social media passwords and not give it to him, especially because of his job. He needs his social media. He needs to post. In order for him to get jobs, he needs to put himself out there. So him not having access to his social media accounts is so evil. And Ari doesn't see anything wrong with it. She says that she's not doing it for revenge.
The more he asks me for this, the less desire I have to even give it to him.
So she tells him, I'm not gonna give it to you. And Biniam's just like, okay, fine. But then she goes over to Florian and she starts crying to him, telling him that like, Biniam is always making her seem like she is evil.
And then he makes me look crazy.
No, you're a little crazy.
I get it that you don't want to come off like that, but at the same time, you're the one that started like that. You came in hot, forcing him to hug you. You came in hot, telling him, I'm not going to give you your passwords. First of all, that is his property. You should give it to him. I am not going to excuse the fact that you took that away from him. I also don't excuse the fact that he cheated on you, but you should not be doing stuff like that. It's so ridiculous. You're not a child anymore. You're a grown-up adult.
I'm going to therapy. I have many years experience. Therapy's good, you know why?
And for someone that constantly talks about going to therapy for the rest of her life, shouldn't you already be able to recognize how possessive that is? And now we move over to the group therapy session. And the therapist asks them, why are we here? The first couple that we get is Julian and Brandon. And they share that they have not been intimate with each other due to the fact that Brandon,
I really want to have kids, and Julia's telling me she no longer does.
At the beginning, they had a conversation about having kids, and both of them had agreed that they wanted children. Julia says that this is a conversation that is going to be way too long. She does not want to have it right now. But she does share that one of the reasons why they haven't been intimate,
because I have a homesick all year. I'm angry.
And that she doesn't have her family with her. Now, this is just a guess. Again, I'm not a therapist. I'm just someone on YouTube. But I feel like Julia thinks that the moment that they have sex, she's gonna fall pregnant, and then she wants her family to be there for her, just like Brandon's family is there for him. And as someone that had her mom when I had my kids, I think my experience would have been so much different if my mom wasn't there for me when I had my kids. My second pregnancy, my mom came to my house, cleaned for me, cooked for me, took care of me. Everyone was excited about my baby, and she was excited about her baby, taking care of her baby. So I could see why Julia is so hesitant about this. And now it's Jasmine and Gino's turn to answer the question, and we get the same thing that we usually get. You know, Jasmine feels like things were so much different back then, that she thinks about those beautiful times they had in the past. And now things are not the same. They argue all the time. Gino, is not showing affection. He's not having sex with her. But Gino also shares that not only do they fight every day, but it turns out that Jasmine lately has been spending many nights at her friend's house.
And she wouldn't tell me until like the next morning.
That is so disrespectful, because at no point does Jasmine even acknowledge it. At no point does Jasmine even take any accountability for it. She just goes back to blaming Gino. He's not being intimate with me.
Gino doesn't show any kind of affection.
But that does not excuse you leaving your husband to go sleep at someone else's house. Instead of that, Jasmine decides to excuse her behavior by saying that
I need a break from this human. I cannot deal with him one more minute.
So now she needs a break, and for her to get a break, it means that she can go and spend time with her friend. We cut to this segment where Rob and Sophie are talking about Jasmine and Gino. And of course, Rob is being like, that's not fair. Like, what in the world is wrong with Jasmine? Sophie, of course, is trying to excuse Jasmine's behavior. And you can tell that Rob got upset because he's just like, oh, is that what we're going to do? Every time that I side with a guy, you're just gonna side with the girl. We already know that she was spending time with her gay best friend. And that is just so disrespectful to your marriage. When we move over to Sophie and Rob, Rob shares that Sophie continues to stick to the past and she doesn't want to move forward. He was under the impression that they were going to continue to build up, and now they just keep lingering and all the things that have happened in the past. And he also feels like...
And I feel like Sophie's moved the goalpost on what I need to do.
So he's just confused. He's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And Sophie tells us that she just feels like they have to learn how to communicate with each other and get better at being there for one another. When we move over to Natalie and Josh, Natalie tells us that she just really wants an answer from Josh. She is tired of being, there for him over and over again and him not giving her an answer as to where the relationship stands.
It feels like grass in Arizona. It doesn't feel like rocks.
And Josh says a lot of nothing other than the fact that Natalie is extremely impulsive and she has an attitude where she'll literally go from 0 to 100 in seconds.
I don't even know what the Natalie and Josh are doing here, honestly.
And same. When we move over to Stacy and Florian, Stacy is broken. She's like, oh, God, it's time to cry, people. And this is when she tells us that she just feels like Florian is repeating patterns. And not only that, but also the fact that a couple weeks ago, she found makeup on his shirt. He is going to deny it. He's going to say that it was no one's makeup.
Some people's drunk, he just want to hug you for no reason,
Which I don't believe. I do think that Florian is cheating. There's not a piece in my heart that believes that Florian is not cheating. And Florian shares that he wants her to learn how to listen more and not just assume things are happening when they are not. but how can you assume that you're not cheating when there's makeup on your shirt?
From a dog, you make an elephant, you know? It's,
I want to be respected.
Florian is so dismissive when Stacy says anything. When we move over to Ari and Biniam, Ari right away, she's like, I am here because of the constant lies. I am here because he cheated.
He's gonna try to come here and say that he hasn't been unfaithful.
But I have proof. In his confessional, Biniam is like, I did not cheat on her. And I feel like she's not here to fix her problems. She's actually here to make me look bad. And when we pan over to the therapy session, he straight up tells her,
because you're a liar, you liar, you liar.
I was like, you know, the therapists are going to do something. They're gonna say something. No, they stay quiet. The fact that you guys are enabling this type of interaction is ridiculous to me. Ari clocks him on this and she's just like, I feel like you being here in this therapy is going to show you how to speak to your wife. And I was like, girl, yes. I'm not a fan of Ari, but for you to cuss at your partner in a therapy session, surrounded by people in front of the therapist, being recorded, is just so disrespectful. One of the therapists asks Biniam if he has anything to say in regards to what Ari just shared. And he just starts saying that, you know,
I feel like control, and then I feel like she's blackmailing me. That's what I feel.
She's being controlling, she's keeping his passwords, that she's a liar, that she's all of this. And the other therapist goes, well,
it sounds like there's many levels to it, and it's really unhealthy.
No freaking shit. I could have told you that. I feel like both of them are here for different purposes and they don't want to fix their marriage. Ari is here to embarrass the crap out of Biniam, and Biniam is here for his passwords and to show that whatever Ari says, not all of it is true. And I do feel like both of them just need to end the relationship right here and there in good terms, especially because they have a child. You guys need to settle this right now because the child does not deserve this type of treatment. After the group therapy is over, we pan over to everyone's rooms. And this is when we see Gino and Jasmine, and we can finally confirm that this girl right here is cheating on Gino. Gino starts by telling Jasmine that he was really surprised after hearing that she sees him as a stranger. And he's just like, and also I was surprised because why haven't you told me who you're going out with? Why are you leaving? You left for 3 nights. She walks out of the room and she tells him, are you telling me that this is the reason why we're doing therapy? Because I spent 3 nights in someone else's home, in someone else's bed? And no, Jasmine, that is not what we're telling you. But it does not mean that because of all the things that Gino has done, you're allowed to cheat on your partner. Jasmine then starts telling him that this is his fault. She's like, you've been distant with me. You don't care what I do. You have not been intimate with me.
I'm not hiding.
Well, then tell me where you were.
You're losing me.
Alluding to the fact that there is someone else out there that is getting her attention. And that's why Gino is losing her. He asked her again, Jasmine, where were you those 3 nights? And she says, I was with a friend having fun. I would have packed my bags in that moment and left the resort right there and there, because right there you're admitting that you do not care about my feelings. And don't play games, Jasmine, because you know damn well that if it was Gino, the one spending 3 nights somewhere else without telling you, you would have flipped the entire world and found him. And things only get worse because Jasmine tells him, you're going to get to know who it was. You're going to get to know the friend that I was with. And when Gino asks her, are you telling me that you cheated on me?
Don't ask questions of things you don't want to know.
No. Answer the question.
And she does not care. She tells him she hates him. She tells him to go F himself. And I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? Why did you even choose to come to the last resort if you already knew you didn't want to be with him? When we cut over to Florian's and Stacy's room, Stacy is already upset because she's trying to make Florian understand that therapy is important to her and he's not taking it seriously. And I totally get it. And it's so frustrating to see this man treat therapy like he doesn't need it, because out of all the people here in the resort, he is one of the persons that needs it the most. He definitely gives me that like alpha male vibe that thinks that, you know, going to therapy is gonna suck the testosterone out of your body. And that's where those two end their night. So let's move over to the next couple. When we cut over to Ari and Biniam right away tells her,
I came here just for my social media. Just
I want to talk about your cheating.
yeah. And in that moment, I was like, oh, girl, Ari is gonna be pissed the moment that she hears this. And I also feel like maybe Ari was the one that told him, hey, come to this show, let's try therapy, and I'll give you your social media accounts. And Biniam was like, deal. You'll see me there. Of course, there's no way to prove that. There's something I can do to prove that that actually happened. But that's what I feel Ari told him. And of course, right after that, Ari is like, okay, are you going to talk about the cheating? And he tells her that he does not feel comfortable with her. He does not feel safe with her. And he feels like she's controlling him. It's just a back and forth. But Ari is just trying to get an answer out of him. I think what Ari wants him to do is to admit that he actually did cheat on her. I don't know if this is too much, but some people are so evil. And I have a feeling that if Biniam actually admits to the cheating, Ari is gonna take this into account when it comes to child support and when it comes to the custody battle. And it's gonna be messy. Ari starts becoming more frustrated. This is when she tells him,
if you're not willing to address the fact that you've been cheating, then you need to get your own room.
So she starts kicking him out and telling him to get out. And he's like, no, I'm not getting out. You get out. And Ari goes, do you want to sleep in the bed and cuddle with me? Biniam goes, no, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. I don't know if she did it as a way of like, hey, this is your opportunity to get in bed with me and maybe we can try to make up for all the lost time. But Biniam did not take that because he doesn't want to be with her. At the end of the day, Bini ends up walking out of the room. It's like this tug of power. Who is going to be the last one? Who is going to stay in the room? But at the same time, there's many moments where Ari speaks to Biniam like he's just a puppy. Do this, do that, you can't do that.
You need to go. Get the
because you
out of this room. Please leave.
It's just so demeaning. Once he walks out, there's this moment where Ari is talking to the producers and she's just like, I feel so bad that I kicked him out.
I feel guilty for if anyone needs love, he's the person who needs love because he's...
Why do you do this all the time? And you always talk so much crap to him when he's there, but then the moment he steps out or he's not there, you're talking like you love him. You show that good side of you. And it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. But that is all we get for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know who you guys' favorite couples are so far. Let me know if there's someone that you're so interested on, you just can't get enough of them. And please tell me, who do you want to get off your screen? Because for me, it's Natalie and Josh. I cannot stand them. I want them off forever. They're not even in a relationship, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. As always, thank you to my members. You guys are the best. Sorry if I sounded a little sick today. I am sick and my throat is hurting so much. I'm recording this at 12 a.m. in the morning. Oh, I wanted to give you guys a little update on my video of Lauren gets caught cheating got demonetized. So unfortunately, Discovery is gonna take all the money, but at least I was able to get the block off. So now you guys are going to be able to see it, and that I'm happy for. The last thing I want is for you guys not to see the content that I put so much effort into. So if you haven't watched it, make sure that you guys watch it. If you don't want to give your money to Discovery, you can watch The Tiger Lily Has No Choice. That one was pretty fun to make. So go ahead and watch that one if you haven't yet. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on this episode. Bye.